Hello, this is John Sace, host of the bi-weekly podcast, Half Truths and Whole Lies. And as we know, there's a whole lot of lies out there. It has come to the point in American politics where even seeing a president shot at on live TV is not enough to convince millions of Americans that it wasn't either staged or fake. I guess ketchup and props are what was put out there. 30% of Americans in a new poll believe that one of the 3 assassination attempts was staged. Fake. Really? Why? There's been a rise in distrust of institutions, government, media, and big tech. We're going to explore the 3 assassination attempts and why people doubt them. It is wild. When a bullet flies now, there's the reality and there's the immediate conspiracies that flare up even before the crime scene tape has been put out. We're going to explore all of these issues in this episode. Hello, this is John Sace, host of the bi-weekly podcast, Half Truths and Whole Lies, along with my co-host, Carl Sace. He's always looking good, and he looks like he just took a shower, and then he posed for GQ.
I'd like to shave, John. I want to point out to our listeners, John doesn't shave some days just because he's super cheap, and he wants to make a razor go like 2 months.
Well, I also buy those Bic razors at a discount price, you know?
I'm sure you do.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the fake assassinations ? Are these assassination attempts on Trump fake or real? At least 30% of Americans don't really believe that they were real. Some of them believe that they were staged. And why this would be when there's actually a lot of this stuff is recorded on live TV. What are the 3 assassination attempts? First one basically occurred in Butler, Pennsylvania, with this guy called Thomas Crooks. He was 20 years old, found out he was a dietitian at a local nursing home. I think he hated Trump's taste in food, McDonald's, and he was into whatever, barley or whatever. He made that attempt, and apparently the shot took a 2-centimeter piece off of Trump's ear.
Are you saying 2 millimeters?
It's 2 millimeters, the size of a
Yeah,
BB.
it was tiny.
Yeah, it's very tiny. Hit the edge of his ear. Now, obviously, the person did die, and another 2 people were injured, and supposedly they're in long-term rehabilitation. Now, what I found out about him is I was going, hey, this guy shot an AR-15 style rifle with a 1x magnification red dot sight. So he didn't have any magnification, so he was shooting at about 150 yards. He attended a range 43 times in the 11 months prior to his shooting. So people was wondering how this guy with a red dot 1x sight, that's why he probably missed it. He didn't have mag.
Right. You know, it's not that easy to hit.
But he was a pretty good shot. He was very practiced, surprisingly, for a 20-year-old. So,
right.
But this was on live TV and everybody saw it. Some people think it's a hoax because of the lack of severe blood. And some people think it's a hoax because of the perfect picture that came out of it. You know, the fight.
The big conspiracy theory things I read, too, is the motive was really kind of no motive. Registered Republican, he donated a little bit of money to, I think, Act Blue.
Yeah, Act Blue,
basically a Democratic organization. But reading about kind of lone wolf actors, that's not unusual for them to not really express themselves all the time with a manifesto or anything such as some of the other guys.
And the whole blood thing. Okay, so I have a friend that really thinks this one was fake. He brought up, well, there's hardly any blood. Then I looked up, he says, oh, remember the Tyson fight? So I looked up the Tyson fight. Yeah, he bit Evander Holyfield's right ear first and took a whole inch off of it. Yeah. And there was blood all over the place. And the refs didn't disqualify him. And then in the next thing, he clenches again and bites his left ear. He bit both ears. And then he got disqualified. He went crazy or something. They said, why did that man go crazy? He said, I got a headbutt prior or something. I'm going, what the hell? But anyway, there was blood everywhere in that. So a lot of people say, oh, there should have been way more blood, way more blood.
Yeah, well, 2 millimeters, it's pretty small, right? We're talking like that. And,
Grazing his ear.
So I'll be honest with you, that one, it's hard for me to believe it's a setup. Yeah. That particular one.
And then the guy was actually killed, too.
It may have won him the election through sympathy and the whole photo op. So what does that do when one thing makes you go, that kind of helped me?
Well, I don't think he wants to be shot at to win the election. And the kid died. Definitely. The kid was killed by a sniper.
Death and 2 injuries, yep.
The second one was Ryan Ruth. It is pronounced like tooth. He's a 58-year-old roofing contract. He had one, I think, arrest for a fully automatic gun in North Carolina, I found out. Got into the whole Ukrainian thing, and that's where he didn't like Trump. And he physically went to Ukraine, tried to recruit ex-Afghan, expatriates to fight in the Ukraine war. And he wrote this 291-page book about Ukraine and, Taiwan and blah, blah, blah. So kind of a strange cat. Do you have any other comments about him personally before we get into what he did?
No, you got him down. He posts a lot of anti-Trump stuff, mostly around the Ukraine war and his lack of activity in support of the Ukrainians.
So from what I know, he basically parked in a public spot, moved to a fence line that had brush and trees right along the hole 6 and on the West Palm Beach International Trump golf course. And he set up a little sniper's nest, apparently put up 2 backpacks with tiles in them on the fence line and a GoPro. And he had a AK-47 and he sat there for 12 hours. But what was weird about this spot, I learned, it was a known paparazzi spot for taking photos of Trump on the golf course. Yep. So the Secret Service knew about this location. There's no way they didn't know. That's the interesting part about this. And to have him sit there for 12 hours,
right?
I'm assuming then the Secret Service come out and scan before he goes to golf.
Yeah, you'd think they'd do a whole perimeter check before he went golfing. And he was found when the lead Secret Service agent who goes in front of Trump on the golf course was walking like 1 or 2 holes ahead. Check it out. And then he fired his weapon at him, I think 4 times. Which
the Secret Service guy?
Yeah, I'm worried about the Secret Service's marksman practice a little bit.
They keep missing, right? Well, he didn't get hit, right?
With the Cole Thomas Allen thing, but
Yeah, but he didn't get hit, right?
It's a lot harder to hit somebody with a pistol at any range than people realize.
Yeah, especially if he was, say, running towards the guy. Yeah, it's not like TV where you hit with every shot right in the...
Right. It's not a John Wick game.
Secret Service guys aren't John Wick. Yeah. You wish they were, maybe. That one was just it's just a strange one. I would say...
He was arrested 45 minutes later on I-95, which is not very far from that golf course. So they kind of sit there and go, gosh, he got arrested so quick. How, they had to be in on it. They didn't find a guy. It was a known spot. The Secret Service has never come out and said, yeah, we knew about it. We just didn't want to check it that day.
The fact that they were taking photographs from Trump indicated he was in danger for months then. To me, you could come up with a million conspiracies because how did this guy sit there for so long? It was a known spot. The Secret Service should have been aware. They missed him with all the shots. He was quickly arrested and they knew all about him because of obviously the Ukraine thing. This guy was under surveillance. He should have been well known.
Maybe he was being tracked and that's why he got recruited by the Trump organization, John. He got recruited and leverage was applied. And the only reason Cook got killed was because he killed somebody. And they're like, oops, we got to kill him now. Can't have him talking.
Well, okay. That feeds into the conspiracy. So it's a little weird that this even occurred. I mean, the guy got that close, I would say. Third one was Cole Allen. This is the White House Correspondents' Dinner thing. Now, what I found out about Cole Allen, he's 31 years old. I didn't realize this. He actually was arrested on January 6th carrying a flagpole and he assaulted an officer. So he was in the January 6th
Cole
protest.
Thomas Allen?
Yes, Cole Allen.
I didn't read about that.
Cole Allen, that time was involved in that. And he was more right-wingish. And after that, and the fact that so many people got prosecuted and Trump was kind of outside the box on this one, no one touched him. He did a kind of like a dark period I was reading about where he kind of totally switched from right wing to the left wing and got really jacked up about everything. He was a gamer developer along with being a teacher, and he had these 2 Steam games. One was called Boredom, but Bohr like Neil Bohr, and it was like some kind of weird physics combat game. And then he did another one called First Law, short of a shooter game he was developing and never got released. So he was into gaming and gaming development. He got really turned against Trump during the Venezuela-Iran war thing. He did a full January 6th riot guy to this. He was obviously a smart guy, but his brain got into a dark period, apparently. That's why he all of a sudden goes and plans this whole thing. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with this one because obviously he never made it into the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The whole beginning portion of it ran through, was able to keep those guns and get to that point. He was apparently shot at, never hit, or maybe he was hit. A lot of weird stuff about this one. So what's your view on this?
I would not put it past the Trump administration to use an event to get funding for their ballroom. Two things important to them right now. Not the Iran war or his son's wedding. The arch and the ballroom. Everything else could go to hell, but if he can get that ballroom built and the arch. And I just want to point out that just because you don't like Trump or his administration doesn't make you left-wing, John. Makes you worried about the rule of law and the Constitution.
Makes you
That's not left-wing.
I'll just call you a progressive, which is a bad word in my name. You are a progressive, which is a bad word in my name. You're a liberal progressive liberalist.
I worry about the cult of personality, John. The cult of personality. Whatever he says must be right.
I know. You're the one who said that. I didn't. I'm going to put that as a quote by you. I'll edit that properly. Carl says Trump is right on everything. Now that you've said it, I
didn't say that. I said I'm worried about the cult of personality.
I heard that you have one of those, white mannequins that you put Kamala Harris's hair on and a mask of Biden. And then you've got candles around it. In your study.
When I swore an oath to the Constitution, it wasn't an oath to a person. It was an oath to a document that defined how we're supposed to run the country and how we're supposed to obey rules and laws. So when somebody violates that Constitution or asks me to do something or questions loyalty, as soon as I hear the word loyalty, I think mafia, I think criminal organization, because loyalty has nothing to do with your service to the country.
That is true.
Patriotism has nothing to do with agreeing with the current administration's policies.
I actually agree with you. That's why I read my little red book of the Declaration of Independence. I use one page every morning. I light a candle in my study.
I don't like candles.
And I have the little book and I open it up and I read a new page.
Plus, I want to point out the Declaration of Independence has nothing to do with, except it's there. It's a statement.
It's a statement about our ideas and goals and ideals. I know you don't give a crap about the Declaration of Independence, but you care about the rule of law.
The rule of law, yes.
You are an Englishman at heart.
The rule of law
came from England. We know that. Our underlying principles of law come from England. And
I know they do. Our founding fathers are a bunch of criminals that just wanted to be able not to be taxed so that they could, basically avoid any kind of, rule of law. So
I say the words.
Amazing they actually wrote a constitution.
I say Magna Carta. That's the English basis for our law. And you are always, I remember the word loyal was in there somewhere in the Magna Carta. Loyal.
I think that's why we had a revolution, so that you didn't have to be loyal to one.
You don't even like tea. What the hell is your problem?
That's true. I don't like hot tea that much. I dislike it.
I like tea. In terms of, again, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, all we have typically shown by the media is the video of him running through, looking like Laura Croft out of
I remember Laura Croft.
She probably had a couple knives and stuff like that, carried some
two pistols on her hips. And
this guy had a pistol, a Mossberg pump-action shotgun, I think, without
a 38. He supposedly shot it once. His lawyers are challenging that he even shot it because in the videos there's no flash from the muzzle flash, which typically you can see.
Okay,
but it only took 4 seconds for him to be tackled, which isn't unheard of. When you're running that fast. And then the guy shot 5 times, but he'd been hit in the chest. So, it's kind of hard to shoot accurately after, when you get hit start shooting accurately, you got adrenaline rush. I'm surprised the guy missed him 5 times. times.
Was it the shotgun he shot, supposedly, or the...
There's a spent shell casing in the shotgun, which indicates it was fired. And there was one buckshot pellet in the
guy's vest. But those are pretty big. They're like the size of, like a double-size BB.
Yeah, maybe even 4 times the size. I think there's only like 5 to 10 inside a buckshot. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised at that range, but I don't know how he was shooting. The guy was lucky he didn't get hit in the face.
I guess our view, there's maybe some reason, a little bit of reason to be skeptical, but there's a lot of physical evidence, a lot of video evidence, and a lot of digital evidence concerning these things. So a lot of people would have to make up their own mind. But the idea that 30% of Americans believe that one of the 3 was staged is kind of shocking.
I'm not shocked, John.
You're not shocked?
Because probably 50% of Americans wouldn't put anything past the administration right now. Like I said, we know how he wants that ballroom. That ballroom that started off being $200 million and all privately funded. Now they're talking about $2 billion. I wouldn't be surprised. Gosh, we got a lot of sympathy from those first 2 things. We got a lot of voter sympathy. Why don't we do this? And we'll put a pellet in this guy's vest. He'll come rushing in here. You miss him 5 times, and the next thing you know, you got Fetterman voting for a freaking ballroom.
I think we've at least talked about these and the possibility of conspiracies or doubt. There's doubt on each one. And what's weird to me still, again, I'll say it, is that as soon as something happens these days, there's a conspiracy theory that comes out. And there's only been about 2 or 3 actual political fake assassinations, and there usually have been of more lower level figures, none of at the level of a president or vice president. Maybe about 3 or 4 instances in the entire history of the U.S. where they actually found a fake assassination and charged the guy. And actually, in each case, the guy was charged and sent to prison. There has been cases, but they've always been
found out
and prosecuted. While these conspiracy theories are always just floating out there, they just float into the system and never get proven one way or the other.
Before you go on, John, I want to point out the last one. Like I said, that the reason people believe the last one, and when you say 30% believe at least one, most of them are saying it's the last one because the guy, now that you're saying he was in January 6th, the guy was super smart, and you're thinking, how could a super smart guy? And so he was already kind of within that Trump identification thing from the January 6th. They were. I'm surprised he didn't get somehow pardoned or something, and now he's got the right to apply for part of the $1.8 billion deal. Kind of like going, hey, maybe they were playing the long game.
Could be. You're helping these guys along in the social media camp. The first call-in is said from a doctor.
I'm calling in from a big white hospital. I am a doctor of ear, throat, and nose specialist, and I analyze ears all the time. And in my after work hours, I'm kind of kinky about that. I love ears. I've studied Donald Trump's ears before and after
he has
the
nice
shooting.
ears.
I love his ears. They have a lot of character. Anyway, from my analysis, he was tipped with a little bullet, grazed his ear in the middle, so like a BB. A BB ripped along the edge of his ear. And you can see in the post photos, there is healing there. A little white area. Ooh, this gets me going. It gets me going.
He likes character in his ears.
I believe that the assassination was real. How can anybody think it was fake? Live TV. Some idiots bring up the chewing of the ear by Mike Tyson. The blood. I don't believe there should have been much blood. There was enough blood. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Wow. Impressed by your ear fascination. I'm not as attracted to his ears as you are, but...
yeah, everyone, I just thought I'd tell you, don't show your feet to Carl.
Oh, gosh.
At his pool, he's got a foot fetish, believe me. Carl's kind of turned on by feet.
I deny that accusation, but let's get back to the caller.
Yeah, your ears look nice,
I
Carl.
looked at that photo, too. It was hard for me to get over the turkey neck to look hard at the ear, but I'll have to agree with you. But anyway, yeah, there I see that little white ridge there. I agree with you, Doc. I think the Butler one was real.
I tend to agree that Butler one was real. And, if you can judge a man by his ears, then Trump was a great guy. I'm looking at you and say, look at his ear. That is I don't know. It's hard to trust you. Basically, I've had psychics look at people's ear and they say, your brother's ears are hard to trust.
Psychics have to do with ears.
Well, you know how they do palm readings? I've done ear readings.
Oh, there's ear readings.
Yours are too close to your head. They don't even stick out. Okay, Carl. Carl, don't go to his pool with bare feet.
Who's the next caller? Let's move on. We have another caller?
Yes, we have another caller. Let's see. The pre-screener says this guy's got an Italian restaurant.
Hello, thanks for taking my call. My name's Guido. I run an Italian restaurant near Butler, Pennsylvania, where that fake assassination attempt on Trump occurred. You know, that Thomas Crook boy, he lived near here in a town, Bethel, and he worked as a dietitian in a local nursing home, and he despised Trump's taste in food. He couldn't stand it. He kept promoting all those fast foods, McDonald's and those French fries and triple burgers and all that sleazy stuff. So I heard that a rep of the fast food industry hired him surreptitiously because they knew he was pissed at Donald Trump to do a fake assassination. They gave him blanks. And they promised him a year's worth of salad if he'd made the attempt.
Wow.
That's what I was told. Salad. And then once this happened, everybody, even the Secret Service, all sat around and ate McDonald's hamburgers or some, fast food place. So I think it's just a big thing to prop up their business. What do you think about this idea?
What do you think, John?
I do think Trump is a big supporter of McDonald's. One of his big things was to serve McDonald's food.
He just had Uber Eats delivered to him a month or so ago.
Yeah, even have Make America Healthy Again movement guy, RFK, eating McDonald's on the plane with Rubio and him. I don't know. They're all eating McDonald's fast food. So I could believe, McDonald's and these fast food guys are big and big business is tied in with Trump. It's possible, but highly unlikely that...
Trump used to spread rumors about the cabal. He was a conspiracy theorist spreader. What goes around comes around, John. So maybe, the cabal, which includes the owners of McDonald's, supposedly, or shareholders,
Rockefeller,
could have done this. I mean, look at all the fast food restaurants. But didn't you say Guido ran a pizza parlor?
No, he ate Italian restaurant. So he was like,
I'm not opposed to it.
So the idea that a guy would recruit somebody smart enough, he went to the range 43 times and shoot. Do you think he could be deceived by blanks? I don't know. But then
blanks are obvious. It's not like it looks like a real bullet.
My personal opinion is I don't think he has to worry. I think they're promoting fast food enough that they don't need a shooting incident. Prop up. I don't think this helps Trump in that vein.
Well, before the election, they wanted to get him elected. He'd have all these photo ops during his term with McDonald's burgers in his hand. Both McDonald's and the Coca-Cola Corporation in concert.
The two biggest companies in the world are running the show here.
Food cabal.
It's possible. We'll go to our next caller. All I know is this supposedly is an American-born Scotsman, which I don't know how you do that.
Hello, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. I'm a Scotsman born and raised in San Francisco, and I went to the same Redwood High School as Gavin Newsom. I have about the same SAT score, I think 950, as Gavin. So I'm not the smartest guy. I'm kind of one of these dull guys. But I'm smart enough when I see on TV and that Butler assassination attempt, the 3 other people besides Donald Trump were hit. 1 died, saving his wife and kids, and 2 were injured and still require long-term rehabilitation. How can anybody think that this was fake? It's ridiculous. I'm not the smartest guy, but these guys that think it's fake are damn idiots. What do you guys think about this? And why would that be when they saw it on TV?
So I think this guy is saying, he's very self-deprecating. He's smarter than he sounds. But when everybody sees something on TV and then immediately like 2 or 3 conspiracies come out from the photo op, you do wonder about America. I do wonder about what people are thinking here.
Well, how many gun activists have stated that all these shootings have been faked by crisis actors? The shootings up in Connecticut, Sandy Hook, people all the time say these mass shootings are staged. So people that are really gun activists that are saying they're staged so that we enact gun laws and gun restrictions.
Okay, you're saying that the gun guys are staging this to get
So all those kids
backlash?
in Sandy Hook weren't really killed, according to some people.
Oh, well, that's
And
idiotic. There
why
is a
couldn't
group
this
of
be
far-right
staged?
activists that are saying the opposite, that this paint guns in a negative light, and so therefore it is staged. But I fundamentally agree with this guy, is that people are too easily ignoring what they see and going off.
Seeing artificial intelligence proposed or fake, but, using
Oh, yeah, AI to put
voice and video technology to make fake reality.
The Butler shooting about the ear, what they did is some people already fairly immediately created pre and post shots of his ear. Post shots were from a different time.
We know that Trump had a pocket full of McDonald's ketchup, so why couldn't he have done it? And, that blood didn't really coagulate very fast and turned from bright red to kind of dark red. Don't worry about it, John. I looked it up. It wasn't long. The time they got him off the stage to the SUV, it wasn't long enough. I still think Butler was real.
Whoa, okay.
I don't even think Donald Trump.
Okay,
I don't even think Donald Trump would kill people and then let people get killed and injured.
That was an interesting call. He's just saying, why don't people believe these days what they see? We'll go with that. So the next one is from a greenskeeper, and you should be familiar with these guys because you bump into them all the time at your volunteer golf course, I think.
Hello, I'm calling in for Florida. I'm the greenskeeper on the International Trump West Palm Beach golf resort. The one where the potential fake assassination attempt went on. I've been doing this greenskeeping for years here, and it was well known that spot that Ryan, the shooter, took up outside the tree line along the fence was a well-known paparazzi photo shoot place. So the Secret Service guys knew all about it. So I think this was just a setup. They allowed this guy to be there for 12 hours.
He needs a throat
and then
lozenge.
the Secret Service guy sees this barrel sticking out, and he knew it wasn't a putter. So he shot at the guy. You know what this did? I think it was all about initiation fees here. There used to be 100 to 150,000. Now Trump International gets 300 to 350,000 initiation fee. This was a fake thing to scam everybody.
Why would fees go
And
up after assassination?
I don't dislike or like Trump, even though he took away my SNAP benefits. But, I'm kind of mad because I have to really mow the green here. Take care of it very, very well. What do you think? I really think this was a fake Secret Service setup.
Well, I'm a little bit worried, but, this was before he was president, so he didn't have the quite coverage. They didn't do a pre-event, and then they say it was last-minute golf outing. They didn't have a chance to go around. But I'm kind of curious. He sees the guy. The guy doesn't fire, never fired a shot, and the Secret Service agent starts shooting at him. If I see a guy, I try to move into a better position if I'm going to take a shot. I don't go running and shooting and warning them off because I want to apprehend him. So that's kind of odd that he started shooting at the guy, saying that you don't want to get shot. It sounds like Ruth wasn't prepared to shoot a Secret Service agent. So I'm sitting there going, why didn't he fire back, take out the Secret Service agent?
While he was talking, I looked up the fact that the initiation fees did go up dramatically in the last...
Well, that's because Trump's president, and everybody knows he doesn't mind a little grease in his palm.
Actually, the ongoing fees are ridiculous, too. Place is about as costly as they come, right? In terms of initiation fees and standard monthly fees. I don't know what the hell you get for dinner. Maybe McDonald's, down at the clubhouse. The idea that he's doing this for the boy up the country club. I know Trump is into, pushing his own properties, but I'm a little skeptical that he would have an assassination attempt to prop up his properties.
Well. This takes me all the way back to the Russians buying his apartments in his building for way more than they were worth back in the 80s, 90s.
Well, that's because they wanted to put
what did that give you? It gives you access, John. Why contribute to a campaign fund when you can join a club and get access?
Yeah, I still don't know why the Russians did that. I think they wanted to buy all the mattresses, and they're starting a Trump museum for the future with his mattresses. All the beds he slept in. They'll have them all lined up in a big display. The Russians. Carl, I don't know what's wrong with my brother, but he's Russian fixated. He's never been to Russia. My other brother's been to Russia looking for other people.
I'm never going to go to Russia because I don't want to end up in a gulag.
I'm sure they would just listen to you and probably do that. So you don't think he's crazy enough, do you, to self-promote his own properties by doing a fake assassination, do you?
Oh, I do think he's crazy enough to do anything. But
well, that's good to know. I don't know. There's a lot of logic with this boy over here. But anyway,
okay.
Are you done with that? Have you said enough?
I've said enough.
The next one is
some people say I've never said enough.
Apparently, the next one, he's a game developer like Cole Thomas Allen.
This is Brian Balls, a teacher and game developer. No child left behind. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I've met Thomas Allen Cole, supposed shooter in what I consider a fake assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I have played some of his indie developer games that he's done, and the plots are somewhat similar. And he also was trying to sell a script for the Correspondence Day shootout game he was developing. And so I know that he pre-recorded this whole thing where he was in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Get Up, pre-filmed it in black and white. And he went to that hotel, I heard this, and he spliced it into their surveillance system.
Just like a movie.
And he stood outside there without
like Tom Cruise.
any guns at all. So this was all fake. He knew he was going to get arrested, but it basically promoted his game. He knows he's going to jail, but he's going to jail in California. Gavin Newsom's handing out laptops so that all prisoners will have one to watch porno. He's going to use it for game development.
Good idea.
He's going to put it out on Steam, and he is going to get rich. A rich man in prison. If only he could be down in Mexico in one of those prisons. He could run the world. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? I think it was all a put on to make money. Make money. It had nothing to do with the real assassination.
The idea of being rich in prison is not the greatest in the U.S., but I guess if he's down in Mexico or El Salvador or some prison where you can run gangs completely out of prison and have like the crazy life, maybe being rich in prison is worth it. But I think being rich in prison, I think even Manson got fairly wealthy off his weird ass paintings he did. People wanted a Manson painting. He did. He sold paintings, and I couldn't believe people would buy them. But the idea that somebody would fake it for fame, potentially getting rich, maybe somehow getting out. The idea of this guy being able to splice it into
why not? Because the Secret Service were in on it, John, right? They planted a pellet in the coat, in the vest. He comes running in there. There's no flash in the thing because he couldn't replicate that. He must have overlooked it.
I was going to say the guy is known as being brilliant, and he knows software. He knows computer languages. He's a computer science major. It's possible that he could be one of these guys that do what like to do on TV. They always break into stuff within about 2 minutes, right? Upload video into the security cam. Sounds like a movie, right? Is it possible? Possible. But do you think it's likely that he did this?
Interesting, John. I just looked up the poll. You were talking about the poll, 30%. So 24% in this one poll. 24% believe it was fake. 32% are unsure. 50% go, could have happened. That means 50-some% believe, the administration could be involved. That's what I'm telling you.
Half those correspondents in that dinner are not favorable to Trump.
And why did he go to the dinner? He never went to one of those dinners as president before, and all of a sudden he decides to go to the correspondence dinner to a group of people that basically dislike him because he trashes them on a daily basis.
And they were going to trash him too. I know that.
So why did he go to the dinner? Never said, okay, I'm going to do this time because I want to improve relations with the media. Yeah, I'm going to, no, decides they're going to, no, he announced it a month out because he had to announce it, because if he didn't announce it, how the hell could his person, Cole Thomas Allen, explain how he got there?
There's a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Yes, there is.
I don't know if it's related, but it was a African-American coming to a white woman's household, and he kind of shocked.
I know, they were shocked.
So they were shocked, you're saying, that Trump was coming to the dinner, that they were a bunch of haters?
When they announced he was coming to dinner, because he'd never done it before. And it was a group that he basically said are a bunch of liars and make up fake news. All of a sudden now Trump's coming to it with all his staff.
But okay, so say that it was fake. What is the outcome for this gentleman, though? That
his
was a
family
Trump.
Gets all this money.
So he did it for.
Trump is going to pardon him out of the goodness of his heart when he leaves office. Let's wait to see the outcome.
Oh, maybe because he actually assaulted somebody with a flagpole on January 6th, he'll get some money from that.
See, he's not in prison yet. Yeah. Trump is the great pardoner of all criminals, great and small.
So you think it's...
what amazes me about the poll, though? 13% of Republicans believe it was staged.
That is kind of a shocking statistic. I'm surprised by that one. It's because... honestly, even Republicans, though, the AI thing and the way there's so much fake stuff, now no one believes the media, whether it's, we'll call it the fake media, the new media, podcast, no one believes any of it because it's like all could be manipulated. There's a lot of manipulation going on out there. People are just skeptical. Getting back to the reason for somewhat this podcast is people don't believe what they see initially. They think there's all this other stuff that they don't get, and maybe people are manipulating them. Actually, that brings us to the end of our show because we're kind of going over our philosophy. Carl's take.
My take, I don't think any of the assassination attempts were faked. I understand why some people think it based on the history of the current administration. That's my take, whether you like it or not.
Wow, that was the shortest thing you've ever said in your life. I've never seen you make a point in 5 seconds. Okay. My take is, first of all, yes, I believe that there's a lot of potential conspiracy theories around all of these Trump assassinations. I do not think any of them were fake, but what concerns me is the belief by 30% or more of Americans that they are. And it bothers me that people do not believe what they see. They would rather fixate on some little fact that from the blood of the ear to some odd little thing that occurred to say why this has to be fake. So I find the idea that Americans in general are prone to not believing what they see is ridiculous, and that a conspiracy theory will come as quickly as a bullet is shot. As soon as something happens, there's a theory around it that makes very little sense. So that's my take, whether you like it or not. I would like to thank all of my listeners, my co-hosts, and the fake call-in voices for a great show. Please come back in 2 weeks when we drop the next episode of Half Truths and Whole Lies. And as always, we look for the truths behind all of the lies.